Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, October 7th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we were looking at OPEN. And this one, nothing was really going on for the majority of the day. You can see down here, volume was pretty light. And then the afternoon showed up, then the volume came pouring in, and a very nice upwards move here. So that is where our first key update comes into play. And that's just based off the fact that for the longest time, if you watch any videos from the past few weeks, we've been talking about this sideways channel pattern here. And today finally got the break up through the pattern. So the big question mark in my mind at least is, can the price now stay outside of the pattern? Meaning you don't want to see the price drop inside of it. Now, if it drops inside of it, does that mean that the overall chart is epically destroyed? Absolutely not, because that would just mean, well, it's right back to where it was inside of the sideways channel. But if you're bullish, well, then the last thing you want to see is the price going back where it was inside of channels. You want to see the price starting to show signs of progress. So the ideal sign of progress would now be if this area behaves as an area of support. So $9.13, I'm not going to call it do or die level of support because it's not. But it's certainly an ideal level in the sense of if the price is going to stay outside of that sideways channel and start to show progress, again, quote unquote, showing progress, I'm defining as staying above 913. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground to watch in that regard, nothing fancy here or complicated, just a question of where did the party eventually stop today, and that was right up there at the 970 mark, so keep an eye on 970. But all in all, definitely a great move today, so let's see if the price can make progress and stay up above this sideways channel. Next one here, PLUG, and kind of a case of deja vu as we have essentially the same pattern that was just in Friday's video. So Friday, very quickly, talked about how there is this bull pennant, and now if I draw this out again, now it's not going to be the exact same situation, but same general idea. You can see right here, another bull pennant pattern. Now, they don't look the exact same, but the psychology is the same. The psychology being big move up, consolidate, and then going today, the question was, okay, can you get another move up? And we got our answer, yes. It did get the move up. Pulled back, consolidated, but once again, same question mark now headed into Tuesday. Will there be another nice move in the upward direction? Now, if there's not another nice move, that doesn't mean that the chart's destroyed. I mean, nothing can put in higher highs every single day, but it nonetheless does still have another bull pennant pattern. And that's just from an overarching standpoint. If you're starting to get bull pennants and then another bull pennant and then another bull pennant, those are very ideal situations because that is implying that the price is pushing higher, after each one of those situations. But that doesn't mean that the price goes up the entire day. There are going to be pullbacks along the way, and that's what's allowing these bull pennants to be constructed. So yes, got another bull pennant. Do we get another one on Tuesday? We'll see what happens. Next one here, ARBK, and we have ourselves another one of these bull pennants, so I'll draw this in maybe a little bit easier so you can see it, but I'm going to go through a little bit quicker because you literally just heard me talk about the bull pennant pattern on the previous chart, and I want to respect your time as much as possible. So there's the bottom part, there's the top part, change that for support, and then just make sure everybody can see it. Let's keep it the same color. So we have our area of resistance, we have our area of support, have the big upwards move right here, have the golf hole down there for you golfers, and then here we are looking at another bull pennant. I'd say the biggest difference here is that this one happens to be on a penny stock. So if you prefer to stay in the world of penny stocks, but you do like bull pennant patterns, then here you go. Next one, ONMD, and this is a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective. Meaning if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, you bought the dip right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then from that standpoint, things are looking pretty rough because yes, from these highs, there has been a pretty big pullback. With all that said, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, even with the bigger pullback here, the price still has plenty of opportunities to build higher bases. And again, assuming you care about the broad scope of things, that's what it's all about. Even if you just say the price, were to drop down to right there, well, even if you look at where that previous low was, that low, and then where the price was down here, and if you envision each one of those as stair steps, again, emphasis here on big picture, but from the big picture standpoint, what do you have? Well, you'd still very clearly have stair steps making progress in the upward direction. Again, I'm well aware that if you're a day trader that bought right here, you do not care about any of these stair steps. That's why I'm trying to parse things out and make the distinction between more of a scalper day trader versus somebody that cares about the big picture point of view. So, like I said, depending on your strategy and assuming you care about the grand scheme of things, even with the bigger pullback this afternoon, the overall chart does still have the opportunity to build that higher base. Next one here, AMD, absolutely monster move on this one today after all the news. But from a trading standpoint, we now have an interesting situation. So let's get this drawn into play. We have this area of resistance right here. We have this area of support right here. And this would be a falling wedge pattern, which is actually a bullish pattern. Now, you may think a rising wedge is a bullish pattern, but that's actually bearish. And this situation is a bullish pattern. Now, just because something's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. I wish it were that easy. But is it valid? Is it rational to think that if the price consolidates, which it's been, and then can get a breakup through there, that break produces upside buying pressure? Again, not guaranteed, but a more than valid question to throw out there as a possibility. So if you like falling wedges and you like these sorts of very eventful type situations where, a stock gets a big, good news out there, then certainly keep an eye on AMD. Well-watched stock, well-defined pattern, so we'll see what happens with it. Real quick, want to take a break and help you solve a very common problem out there, and that is people wanting to be day traders, and I'm defining day trader as wanting to have unlimited day trades every single day. So you can make as many trades as you want each day, but because of that pattern day trade rule, you're not able to. Well, whoops, I almost knocked over my mic, but I got to stop talking with my hands, but there is a market out there where there's zero pattern day trade rule, and quite frankly, this market moves way better than penny stocks and small caps and low floats anyways, which I realize sounds pretty crazy, and maybe all this sounds a little bit too good to be true. Totally understand, which is why I invite you to come check out and see with your very own eyes. It's what I've been doing. It's where I put my money where my mouth is, but I have been live streaming, so if you want to come witness it with your very own eyes, interact with me, ask me questions, then definitely swing by the live stream. I start every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, so make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you are reminded of when I do go live. And yeah, come check it out with your very own eyes. Next one here, NVDA, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's or the video from Friday, but talked about this sideways movement right here. Price dropped, but down below the screen line here, which was a support right at 187.30, and then this is just basic technical analysis. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and that is exactly what happened here. If you look, you can see price broke below it and then bounced up and literally got smacked right back down. Classic example of a support acting as resistance, and then again, you can't make this stuff up right off of that level once again. So 187.30 is the near-term area of resistance to watch moving forward. If the price does pull back a little bit, then the next key area of support to watch is, I would say, right here around this general area, around the 184.25. If you go back through the history of things, actually, you can't see that. It's behind my, there we go. You can see right here acted as support, and then once again acted as support a couple times here. Now, if it goes down there, will that level for sure guaranteed act as support again? It doesn't, but it's at least a valid thought to have. So, like I said, if there is any sort of bounce, 187.30 going to be that key level, but then also keep an eye on the 184.20-ish mark if the price does roll back over. Next one here, BURU, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but if you have, hopefully remember me talking about that green line right there as support, which sits right there at 0.226. And again, the power of charts. And I understand if, maybe I just threw these lines on here, but that's why I like this segment, because if you don't believe me, if you think I just threw this on here beforehand, just go back and watch the video from Friday, and you'll see I had this level mapped out. And I don't say that to brag about myself. I do say it to brag about charts. Charts are a great tool to use. But you can see with the pullback, it's been doing a great job of holding at that area. And then finally this afternoon, you can see the price has gotten a good solid bounce off 0.226. So moving forward, 0.226 remains that key area of support. In terms of areas of resistance, next key battleground to watch very closely right here at the 28-cent mark. But the most important thing, at least in my opinion from the big picture point of view, is just building that higher base, and that's what's being represented by staying above that green line right there. The price is built the higher base, and we'll see now if this upwards move gains more momentum, and who knows, maybe the price will be pushing up into the 30s sooner than later. Next one, SOPA, very nice mover today, and now a question of just kind of, can this momentum build itself? But not a whole lot to talk about because, yeah, the price has made a big move up. It has pulled back. So really what I'm very curious about is, does this pullback continue? Now, it's only been a couple candles, but if it does continue and in any way, shape, or form some sort of downwards channel, assuming you care about the big picture, then what you'd have to ask yourself is, okay, yeah, Clay, fine, fair enough. The price has pulled back, but what was going on before this pullback? And those people would say, well, the price was here, then it exploded all the way up here, which would now be giving you a bull flag pattern. I'm not saying there's a bull flag right now. I'm just saying I think it's a very interesting situation to watch moving forward and seeing if there is more of a methodical pullback. Now, if the pullback is just all of a sudden straight down, well then, yeah, there is no bull flag. There's nothing. It would be a full-blown reverse. But any sort of methodical continued pullback is not necessarily a bad thing. I realize most people just want to see things continue to go straight up. And if they don't go straight up, people think something's wrong. But that's just not how trading works. If it's a methodical, controlled pullback, then yeah, you could be looking at a bull flag pattern moving forward. So keep an eye on that, and it will be interesting to see how this week continues to play out. Next one, CRML. Crazy day on this one. Had some halts and all that sort of good stuff. But now that the dust has settled, I think there's a couple of key areas. And the level here that really stands out to me, and I would venture to guess a lot of other people, is this level right here around the $13 mark. You can see throughout the course of the day, $13 was that key area of support right there. And then with this craziness right here, when there was that attempted bounce, just another classic example of that former support now acting as resistance. So while nothing is guaranteed, in my opinion, more than rational to think that if the price comes up there and pushes through there, it could produce some good solid upwards movement. But again, no guarantees. However, is it valid? Is it rational to throw out the question that if the price breaks there, it could produce upside buying pressure once again? Absolutely. So I think that $13 mark is certainly a very interesting level to watch moving forward. If the price does pull back some more, then a key area of support to keep an eye on, in my mind, right down there around the $9 mark. So keep an eye on that. But in my opinion, at least the most important, or not important, but the most interesting dynamic is all about that $13 mark and whether the price can push up through there. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and very impressive recovery. Things were looking very bad the past couple of days, but today got the gap up and then just a slow and steady grind in the upwards direction. So you got to think a lot of people are now going to be turning their attention to this area of resistance right here around the 459.50 mark. If you go through the history of things, you can see right there acted as resistance. Price got quite a bit of congestion right there. And then after the price fell through, bounced back up right there, the price once again got rejected. So I'm not saying 459.50 is impossible to break through. I'm just saying I could see that being a potential area where there are some sellers sitting around. So keep an eye on that level. And of course, if the price does push up through there, you can turn your attention to more so, this level up here around 470.50. But my point is one hurdle at a time. First, got to clear that hurdle right there. Now, if there is any sort of pullbacks, there are all sorts of areas of support down below the price. You have the 50-period moving average. You have the 200-period moving average. You have this low from down here at 411.60. So that doesn't mean that the price can't roll over. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if there is going to be any sort of significant rollover, the bears are really going to have to bring their A game, because it seems like the bulls are establishing themselves quite a bit after today. But yes, we'll see if the grind can continue and see how the price does indeed behave, if it can get up to these couple areas of resistance. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you're sick and tired of the pattern day trade rule and you just want to be a day trader, you want to have unlimited day trades and not even need a whole lot of money at all. So if you want to have very minimal risk but a whole lot of upside, then definitely check out the link. Or if you're super skeptical, which again, I understand, then come swing by the live stream. Start every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Watch with your very own eyes and ask me if you have any sort of questions. Nothing better than somebody saying, hey, Clay, I watch your top 10 videos. I'm here. I have a question. Go ahead and ask, and I'll do my best to certainly provide any sort of clarity. So definitely check that out, and hopefully I'll see you on the live stream. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Everybody take care and have a good one.